Welcome back to the JeffersonKRogers podcast, episode number 8. Today we got a special guest, Mr. Mitch Rose.
What's up, Jeffro?
Dude, excited to have you on.
I know. I'm glad you asked.
It's going to be fun. So, JeffersonKRogers podcast, we put this thing together because we want to help as many people as we can and reach out as far as we can to people dealing with similar problems to what we deal with on a daily basis. Being business owners, entrepreneurs, and all the struggles that come with that. You know, not everybody has to go out and figure it out on their own. There's people like us that have beat our head against the wall with some of these problems and been able to overcome them. And we've learned some pretty good lessons. And now we're able to reteach those to other people if they're willing.
Yep.
And if they're in the right place and ready to hear a message like this. So, first of all, I wanted to start and just get a quick background on you and have you tell us a story about Mitch Rose.
Story about Mitch Rose. Well, moved here about 4 years ago from Riverside, California. Lived there all my life. And came here on the day of my 18th birthday. And
that's awesome.
First job out the gate right at Black Bear Diner here in town. My mom was a server there and got me the hookup and started as a host. That's awesome. Then a couple months moved to server, and so I served there for about 2.5 years until I finally was
it's a great experience, dude. That's great life experience as a young kid.
All my family, I think I told you this before, they go, Mitch can't even spell work, because I just played sports in high school. My dad told me you can either play sports and I'll hook you up, or you get a job and, you know, do it yourself. And so I played sports, and so when I moved here, that was the whole joke of the family. Everyone's like, Mitch can't even spell work. And I'm like, guess not. But once I started working there, they were just amazed watching me just cleaning tables like crazy.
Where did he get this from?
Yeah, and then once I started serving, they're like, he can talk? And it's just like, I don't know. It was really funny. But, that's kind of how it all started from serving. Serving was I recommend it for everyone.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. That was some of the best times.
Intro to sales.
In my life. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without even realizing it, we were learning some sales abilities. And some communication skills and some confidence and conflict resolution too. Sometimes you run into
customer service.
Some rough customers.
Yeah.
You can't do anything to make them happy.
Yep.
And you got to put a smile on and go do your job, because you still got to try and get a tip out of them.
Absolutely. I know. And out here in Utah, it's paying people, what's the rate? $2 an hour or something like that. Yeah. It's like $2.13 or.
Our servers are relying heavily on their tips.
Tips only. Yeah. So I would just bite my tongue, and just all the harsh people, and I'd still get, good tips out of them. So.
Absolutely. So that's where it started. That's where your work journey started, was at the restaurant.
Yep.
So what's happened since then, though? You've had a couple things happen since then.
Yeah. So basically, during the last little bit of serving, I had done college this whole time during during serving. That's why I moved here, was to go to Dixie State and go into exercise science. But I moved early, so I moved when I was 18, still in high school, to get in-state tuition. So I moved to a new school, didn't know anybody, just went to Dixie High School here, and it was like,
did you really?
Oh yeah, it was a way different scene than.
And you were 18?
Yep.
You were already 18.
Yep. Got my own apartment over there off Mall Drive, and lived there with my girlfriend at the time. And it was a big jump into life, and I was ready for it, though. It wasn't like my dad kicked me out, or I was like, I want to get out of here or whatever. It was just kind of like this is what I got to do to get cheaper college. So
that's impressive.
My dad was like,
that is impressive.
Yeah. And
I was riding coattails on mom and dad for a long time, a lot longer than that.
Yeah. No, the day of my birthday was when I moved up here, moved everything in that apartment, and it went good. Yep. And then,
awesome.
Where was I going with that? This is gonna be bad. I'm gonna be losing my train of thought here a lot, but just keep me on.
Right. So we were just kind of going through work history. So you started at the restaurant. I'm trying to paint everybody a picture of how quick something can happen. Because right now, how old are you?
22.
22 years old. It's only been less than 5 years since you've moved here.
Yep, 4. Less than 4.
Less than 4 years. Mm-hmm. So you were still in high school when you moved here.
Yep.
Started at Black Bear Diner.
Yep.
And now you've had a couple of gigs since then. Mm-hmm. And leading up to this point, there's been a couple of transitions, a couple of life lessons, a couple of realizations in your life. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I surely don't want to be in the restaurant industry for the rest of my life. And then it brought you to where you are today, finding something you're passionate about and can show up and get excited about every single day. And this is the message that I'm trying to get across to people is, like, you got to find something that, for one, you can make money at, because without money, you can't accomplish much. But the other thing is you got to be able to have something you can show up to every single day and get excited about, so you can come back and have something to keep working towards.
Yep. So bringing it to that, I mean, during this whole serving college experience, I found the hashtag van life, as everyone calls it nowadays. And this is a big trending thing right now, and it's been trending for 6, 7, 8 years now. I mean, the hippies did it back in the day, but so it's trending now.
That's where man in the van comes from.
That's where man in the van comes from, yeah. So when I was in my apartment, I was just, I'm saving, I'm working my ass off every single day, doing doubles if I can. Still, like, I was hustling more then than I am now. And crazy. I was really just like, so I want a house. That was like my goal.
Where did that work ethic come from, do you think?
It's really hard to say where it came from. I mean, thinking back to just education or sports or whatever, I would never really have to, I just had to perform. Like, I had to get A's. I had to do my homework. Like, my dad would be like, Mitch, let's go to the mall and go buy some, I'll buy you some shoes or whatever. I'm like, Dad, I got homework. And I was just
you were just driven from a young age to do good things. It just
bugs me to not get shit done. Wow. Like, it's just like one of those things that just fucking hovers over my head. Like, dude, you got to get some shit done, and it'll just linger and fuck with my head. So I just, if there's something to do, I got to get it done and get it out of the way till the next thing comes.
That's impressive, dude.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
But it's hard to say really where it derives from. But even in sports, like football, I was like not trying to play in high school because I'd played, when I was little and everything. And I just was looking at the environment, and I was like, you know what, man, I want to go for it and see what I can do around these parts, because I was from another town and I would play against those guys sometimes. And so I was like, I want to see, what I could do. So tried out whatever. And I just went like pedal to the metal, all bodybuilding, went 2 days lifting and all that kind of stuff. But, it's definitely been, the work ethic has been there from school, sports, anything I really put my mind to. But
so the reason I ask is because I started from a pretty early age going and working with my dad from like 10 years old. My dad got his general contractor's license, and I was out on the jobs picking up scraps and making a pile of wood, and then pretty early started to get into using some of the tools. The first tool I remember using was one of those Tico nailers. Mm-hmm. It's like you put a nail in the end of it, and it goes, and it'll drive a nail in.
Yeah. And
I did thousands and thousands of nails.
That's
just
funny.
Putting on straps and hangers. But, I can attribute some of my work ethic from just starting so early and having like that, my dad looking over my shoulder, making sure that I was doing it right. And if I didn't do it right, then I would have to do it again. So I got into a habit of just doing it right the first time, because I hated getting my ass chewed for not doing it right.
Yeah.
But for you just had some of that just built in.
Yeah, I'd say it was just built in, and like sports was where I could show it. And in track, like, I remember I was the only white kid on my 4x1 team, because I was just like, I got to train. Like, I trained hard to get there, and it was a really awesome experience. All my best friends were with me running and stuff, but they're just seeing this little super white-legged kid, just going at it. But
you could hold your own against those guys.
Yeah, yep. And tons of different track meets, and track was awesome. Football was awesome. Baseball when I was little was all good, but I never really like worked Like I had never done shit. Like my family would be like, Mitch is such a lazy ass.
Hard labor type.
We get home from a vacation, freaking, you know, got our dirt bikes, got to get washed, and I'd be like, fuck, like dip inside, like just lazy piece of shit.
Try to get out and doing the work.
Yep. And still to this day, I get that, and sometimes I do. I'm guilty of it, but I'm just like, if I don't want to do it, like if I desire it, I'm gonna go for it hard, you know. And if it's just like not for me, I'm just not gonna invest my time in it. So,
absolutely,
time is precious.
So now tell us about this journey that you've been on over the last 2 years or so with the photography, and how you picked that up, and how you realized that was something you wanted to get into.
So back when I was little, going on vacations, I got my first GoPro camera. And that was like the big inspiring thing for me. It was like watching those GoPro videos, just like those guys just doing crazy backflips on wakeboards. And I would just fucking sit there for hours watching GoPro videos. Like that shit is sick. And like 10 years old probably, and got the GoPro 2. And I'd go on a trip, take that camera, shoot everything I could, and take one song and put it all together. And that was like, I'd probably do one of those a year, maybe. If I did another trip, maybe make another one. But just one of my friends taught me how to use iMovie, just simply like
just
back
clip
then.
It all together and put music to
it. Sequence, yeah, put music to it. And man, all my family and friends, they love the videos and shit. And it was just like obviously nothing special, but that was like the inspiring side of it, like how I got into it. And when I moved to Utah, I had got my first DSLR camera. I like traded another GoPro I had for one of those cameras. It was like a Nikon D3300 entry-level camera, but I was just like, I want to just start doing this. Like now that I'm in a beautiful place, I got beautiful scenery and people and whatever. Like California is just so much visual, ugly noise that's just like no one wants to see that shit. Like people want to see beautiful stuff. So
we got plenty of that here in southern Utah.
Yeah, so I was just like, I got to just start doing it. And I'd take it to the gym, film me and my buddies working out, and then, you know, dirt bike riding still and whatever I really could. And then I finally just started, like, just telling people, I'm a videographer. This was, like, I guess right before I stopped serving. And I got my first gig with another server there. He's like, oh, you're a videographer? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I need a documentary done. I'm a Christian author and pastor, and my publisher wants to have me make a documentary. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, I seriously had done one promo video for a car wash. I think I did it for like $50. St. George Car Wash right here.
No way.
And
plus all your GoPro videos though.
Yeah.
So you had some experience.
But paid jobs was like that. And I believe it was like $50, which was expensive to me at the time. But yeah, he's like, yeah, man, we'll sit down, we'll talk about it. And we ended up sitting down. He's like, yeah, we'll basically want, like, I'm used to doing minute-long videos. And he's like, yeah, it'll basically be about 30 to 45 minutes long. And I can give you a check tomorrow for a deposit for $2,000 at the max budget of about $5,000. And I'm just sitting there, like, trying to keep my cool, like, kind of shit in my pants a little bit. I'm like, one, your computer sucks. You've never made a video over a minute long. How does that work? And, you know, what the hell's a documentary? So I'm just sitting there like, dude, you got to figure this out, man. So I went right to the college and bought me a brand new Mac that can run, you know, a good high level, you know, processing and whatnot. Got Final Cut Pro. Wow. And didn't know how to use it. And then still had my camera and bought a better microphone. I bought my first mic. And with that, just one camera setup, and we went to freaking Pine Valley and some other place. And it was just like basically him talking and the documentary ended up being an hour and a half long. And I think total budget, we got about $6,500 out of it. But it was like a 4-month project, just super long. But I was serving at the time, still doing this. And then he also said, hey, man, I do sermons every Sunday. Can you come film them and put them on YouTube? I just want you to put them on a YouTube account for me. So
he was working there at the restaurant with you?
Yeah.
Like his side gig too?
Yep.
Wow.
And so I made a YouTube account for him. sat in the back of a church every single Sunday. I would school Monday through.
Still in high school?
No, this was college.
Now you're in college.
Now I'm in college. School all the way through the week, plus work during the nights. Saturday, Sunday, I would work, and then Sunday I'd get off. I'd work from I'd open the restaurant at 5, I'd get out of there by 12, go straight to the church by 1, and then film an hour-long sermon with this shitty camcorder. And, I don't even know what my lav setup was, but some sort of lav mic or whatever it was, but it was just...
he was laved up. So
I think he was laved up, yeah. And then I'd sync it in post and just do that. Audio was terrible. Visuals was horrible. And I just take it hour long, dude, go home, and he paid me $1,000 every month. So
wow.
4 gigs.
Like an hour and a half, 2 hours of work.
Yep.
Every week.
Every week.
For $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month. And that was just my entry, gateway. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the beginning.
So how long before that guy had came to you with that offer had you been telling people that I'm a videographer, I'm a photographer, this is what I do?
I wasn't really just screaming it. It was just I'd try to keep posting content.
Yeah.
And I would I'd set up my feed on my Instagram. This is a great way for any entry level person just trying to get started. I'd do 2 pictures, then a video, 2 pictures, then a video, 2 pictures. Cause I'm fuck, man, it's so easy to take a picture, so but how about you make a video?
That transition before you had gotten your first opportunity like that, and most of it was just you putting out content.
Yeah, maybe about 6 months.
6 months,
4 months. I can't really.
So I think there's a lot of power in this. So for everybody watching, if you have something that you want to do and you're serious about it, it's not just going to present itself to you without putting in work.
Correct.
So you spent 6 months not knowing how the rest of it was going to play out or if you'd ever get an opportunity, but you basically had started to visualize it and manifest it to where one day this guy just came and said he'd been hearing it enough, you had been consistent enough, he'd seen some of your content, and he liked what you were doing. So he came to you with an offer. You didn't have to go sell anything.
No.
And you haven't hardly had to do that since you began because you've been just constantly producing such good content, and people know when they see good content.
Awareness.
And there's high awareness, high engagement, and you've created a lot of credibility by doing that. And now I heard of you from other people. I saw some of your content out there, and it was like a word of mouth chain of events that's led you to now being able to make over a 6-figure income doing something that a lot of people want to do. Another point I was going to make is, dude, I know a ton of people that have picked up a camera and they got all this get up and they spend all this money, but they never get around to doing much in way of being consistent and putting out content and getting their name out there. So eventually they run out of patience for the universe just putting something in front of them
and do what?
Because they haven't put in work. And they quit on themselves.
Yep. And any successful person is going to tell you, just keep going. It's going to be I still have a minorly slow month, and it's a little bit downing because, of course, I want to make more money. But it's dude, what can you be doing better? And just there's all those kinds of things. But throughout time, if you stay consistent with something, it's just going to keep getting fucking better and better and better. And if I didn't hold myself accountable, and I swear if it wasn't for me saying 2 pictures in a video, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Honestly, as simple as that fucking thing is, it holds me accountable. You can't post another picture, Mitch, until you make a fucking video and post it. And then you can go take 2 more pictures, but hurry up, video's coming next. And then it was just this vicious fucking thing to where I'm constantly trying to produce to where people are well, he's posting shit, he must be a videographer, Absolutely. And just faking it till I make it, And next thing you know, I had, this is where the big jump came. So I was doing all that stuff. And I saw real estate, or Black Bear fucked with my schedule. And I was normally I would get out of work if I had a 5 days off and take my van and drive as far as I could and then turn around and come back. I did a Banff trip in 5 days. I was thinking about going to Glacier. I'm fuck, dude, that's close to Canada. I haven't been to Canada in a while.
Might as well just keep on going.
Let's fucking go. So I grabbed my passport, boomed off on a Sunday.
Wow.
Had the best trip of my life.
Were you just by yourself?
By myself, yeah. That was when I was 19. So that was my first van trip, and I did that one in my brown van, the notorious Barbara. That was her name. Yeah.
That was like one of them GMC Savannahs or something?
Yeah, the Chevy Astro. Chevy Astro. That thing was fucking legendary.
I can't believe you made it all the way there and back without having
dude, not a fucking problem, man. And I met the most amazing fucking people along the way. Like, that's a whole different side of just incredible life and shit, dude. You want to just meet some interesting, awesome fucking people and have amazing experiences, go buy yourself a van and just start fucking going. You're going to talk to people, meet people, find people. It's just like insane. But anyways, yeah, I would just do these trips far as I could in the amount of time to get back in time for work or school or whatever it was. I would just fucking send it, dude. I was like, I can't rely on anybody. No one's going to take care of me. I can't fucking deal with people's schedules. I don't want to deal with anybody. And I just want to have some clarity.
Go experience
and that's
life.
Yeah, and that's where finding what you're passionate about and really finding who you are and your values and shit is going off and doing things like that alone. Trevor talked about it before, going eating by yourself at a restaurant, making that okay. Like, all these like little things that I just normally do are like super hard for people to go eat at a restaurant by themselves. It's like, that's such a hard thing for people to do. They're sitting there wondering about, why is that guy standing? You know, they just like sitting by himself and they're just like making up all these dumb scenarios. And like in the van, I'll go to the boonies. There's fucking you hearing shit, this, that. Like the other day I was out even. It's just been a while since I moved out of the van. And it's hard getting back into that realm of like, dude, it's okay. No one's going to come knock on your fucking door. No one's going to, like I would just camp at Dixie State, dude, in the parking lot and like all these different places. Like I would just sleep in the most uncomfortable fucking places to where it became comfortable. And that's obviously what everyone preaches, and it fucking works. Like, it fucking works.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, and just keep pushing, dude. And that was one of my things. Like, I always, everyone values sleep and wants to be safe when they sleep, but I was like, no, I want to be, I mean, fuck, I'd sleep everywhere, dude, everywhere. But it was just like so cool. A really cool thing. But back to the photos and stuff, I pretty much found a real estate agent because they messed with my schedule, and I was like, you know what, dude, what can I do that can like get my video thing fucking going? Because I'm tired of this fucking Black Bear stuff, And yeah,
did it take you a while to pull the trigger on getting out of Black Bear?
No.
Even after you had a couple things going on?
So, well, it was this. I shot this house for a real estate agent who also worked at Black Bear. I was like, hey, I saw you got pictures and stuff done. Can I just make you a free video? And she's like, yeah. So I went to the house, did the drone, walked through everything. It wasn't anything, what it is now, but it was a great little video. And I put it together, sent it back to her the same night. She goes, Mitch, it's perfect. Next morning, sends me a phone call. She's like, Mitch, I have a real estate videographer position at my real estate company. She goes, call this number. I'm like, holy shit, it's that easy? And she calls me, or I call the guy. His name's Scott. I'm like, hey, Scott, how you doing? He's like, good. My son was the one who was taking these pictures, but he recently got another videographer gig, and he's moving to Texas. So basically, you're going to work underneath this company up north, and you're going to be their first branch off in St. George. So you're going to get all the leads and everything, but you're going to get paid and hired under them. And I'm like, okay, like, that's fine, and he has this camera meanwhile, right? The 3D Matterport camera.
Oh, wow.
And so I call them, get an interview set up. They're like, yeah, we'd love for you to come up and train with us. So I go up north, drive all the way up north. They were like, we want to see what you got. So I showed them, I flew the drone. They showed me how to do the Matterport thing on a couple houses, and that was like it. And then they were like, cool, man. We'll pay you like $30 a house to shoot it, and $60 if you edit it as well. And this was like a maybe 3-hour process, 4-hour process.
Wow.
And I'm like, fuck, man, that's a little bit less than Black Bear. Like, I would do, 175 to 225 a day at Black Bear. And yeah, I was like, fuck, dude, this is bad. But
did you negotiate at all?
No, I didn't know
I
didn't know how to fucking negotiate, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was possible. I really didn't. So I was like, you know what, man, let's just take it for a jump. So I was like, okay, let's do it. Get to Black Bear, put my 2 weeks in, and next day I go to Black Bear and I get the first top of the day. It's like 20 top of these real estate agents. And like, I'm like, I had knew one of them already. And she's like, hey, Mitch, how you doing? Are you still like trying to do that video stuff and for the real estate? And I'm like, yeah, actually, I just quit here today. And then another guy reaches his head out. He goes, are you Mitch? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm Scott. I'm the one you talked on the phone. He goes, these guys tried to lowball me because they were going to buy that camera. He goes, they were going to lowball me on it. And so I said, fuck you. And he goes, how about you buy it? My son will teach you everything you need to know, and you can make your own pricing, make your own schedule. And I have a whole list of fucking leads ready for you right now. And I was like, boom, there's the next door. Yeah, I was like, is this fucking real? Dude. He goes, buy it for me, $3,000, give you the camera, iPad. My son will teach you everything to know. And I got the leads. And I'm like, it's the golden fucking ticket. And I send those guys an email. Never responded. So I was like, okay.
Those other guys that you were going to do the work for up north?
Yep. No and I was like, okay, fuck, I guess I don't want to work for them anyways. And started off, did my first condo, $100, and did the Matterport thing. And I didn't even know, meanwhile, how to really use my camera, my normal camera, to like take a picture for a real estate agent. I didn't have a wide enough lens. I didn't know what settings to use or video stuff either. So through me getting this Matterport camera, this was now my avenue to where I can, do photo and video full time and then offer or use my camera a little bit while I'm at a house and try to upsell them with the drone or upsell them with the, and so meanwhile, then I'm like, okay, how do I legitimize myself? I'd already got my business and everything set up, S Corp, and did all that stuff, got my bank accounts ready. I was like, this was probably 6 months before. And, so I was already there and legitimized, but I got my Part 107 to fly commercially and get paid. You got to have that. So I did that, and then it was just like one house, then the next house, then the next house, and just kept fucking learning. And I think my first month I did like 1,700, which I think I was doing about maybe 3,000 a month ish at Black Bear or more. Yeah. And so it was a little dip, but then the next month was like 23, then 25, and then little. It was just like little increments.
Was it because you were doing more volume, or had you started to make your own pricing too?
I started to up my pricing a little, but it was more volume. Yeah. And he basically just shot my email or myself and my pricing out to all the Red Rock real estate agents, and on a random occasion they would hit me up for a gig, and it was just like, there's a lot of smaller, not high-end agents who just don't know about it or don't know what they need or anything. And so they were hitting me up first choice because I was like the cheapest. And and then it was July of 2019 was when I quit Black Bear. And then it was month. And then by the time October hit, I was at Fitness Culture working out there, and I saw Jake. I'm like, fuck, man, these guys are legit. Alec, the videographer for Steve, the other guy for Fitness Culture. And I walk up to Jake one day. I'm like, what's up, dude? I'm like, yo, I'm a videographer too. Not. And I'm like, I'm a video guy too, but if you guys ever need another hand or anything, or if I can, maybe come up and watch your guy edit just to see if I can learn something, whatever, that'd be great, And he kind of just like fucking looks at me like, who the fuck is this little kid,
I can see Jake doing that.
Oh, yeah. And then like a month after, so that was probably in September. October, they hit me up and were like, hey, like our guy's really not like stylish or anything. He's pretty dull, not up to date with present content. And then he was like, we're looking to try you out. Meanwhile, I don't even know how to put text on a video. I don't even know how to fucking put like
stylish. You've been doing the 360 camera.
Yeah, 360 camera, trying to learn. Yeah. And so I was like, man, you got to fucking learn, man. So they were like, this Sunday, come to the gym and we're going to film a trainer video. So it's just like them working out, showing the sets and reps. So I fucking scrambling, buy a preset that's like lower third drop-ins. That's all glitch effect and whatever, and put it on, edited the video, sent it back. They were like, yeah, you can have it to us next week. And I gave it to them that night. And they're like, damn, man, it's fucking perfect. You're hired. And I'm like, shit, man. So they were going to do like 150 a video. And right after that, they were like $2,000 a month. And they were paying their last guy probably like $4,000. But yeah, I went straight to $2,000 a month. So I was like doing, that was a nice, you know, cushion. That was my new.
Plus you're still doing all your stuff on the side.
Yep, correct. And then by the time December got around, that was like, I had also added on Jocelyn, who I still work with.
Yep.
And she's a makeup artist for a company, Saint, who's pretty well known, very big actually. But yeah, she got in and she's been crushing it. But she does YouTubes. So meanwhile, I'm doing Fitness Culture's YouTube, learning that. And I get to Jocelyn, and now I'm learning how to do makeup tutorials and hair tutorials and all these fucking things.
Are you doing all of her copy too?
Copy meaning?
Like all the text and everything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. All that stuff. Wow. And so her last guy was pretty good, but again, he was in Texas and kind of outdated as well. And then I just had to fucking learn, man. And so it was basically real estate, Fitness Culture as a part-time, full-time-ish thing. And then Jocelyn, I'd film every other Wednesday with her. And that's kind of, and at that point, I'm charging $50 an hour normally. Mm-hmm. Real estate has its own pricing, and then Fitness Culture, I was on salary. Yeah, so
by the end of December, what, you're making like $5,000 a month?
I think I was right at like 4. I was pushing fucking hard, tapped out. Jocelyn, I was fucking spread thin, wanting to pull my hair out. Fitness Culture needs me. Then a random real estate agent hits me up, and I'm just like running ragged. And I'm like, fuck, man, $4,000? Like, that's it?
All this for $4,000?
Yeah, and I talked to one of Trevor's guys, Buddy Becker, and he's like, dude, I went over to his house one night. He's like, bro, he goes, there is no fucking way that you should not be making 6 figures. And I'm just like, what? 6 figures? I'm like, that's fucking insane. No way, you know? Like, no, I can't be doing that.
At that point, you're 20 years old.
Yeah, I was 20 then, yeah. And I was just like, there's no fucking way. And he's like, dude, I did it with my girlfriend with her lash business. I had to fucking implement different pricing, whatever. And he's like, dude, you got to up your pricing. He goes, you're bitching about it. He goes, the only thing that's going to help you is raising your prices. And sure enough, I was so spread thin. I had just got back from a Mexico trip for Christmas. I went there for Christmas and came back still bitching about it. And then my dad snapped at me. I told you that, I think, last week, right? Yeah. And he's like, dude, you got to do it. And so
quit bitching and just do it.
Yep. Made that call to all my clients and said prices are going up, and the bad ones dropped off and the good ones stayed on. Jocelyn's still with me. Fitness Culture, we just ended a couple months ago, but that was different. But
did you up the price with them too? Or were you on a contract or something with them?
No contract, no nothing. I just didn't have the balls to talk to Jake.
Really?
That's a real fucked up conversation to have when you're.
Yeah, he's an intimidating guy.
Oh yeah, he's a real intimidating guy. But I was just like, I wanted to keep this thing that was consistent, and they were my first gig, you know. But from December doing 4, that first month in January, I think I did like 7.3 or something like that, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude,
this is totally possible.
Yeah, I was like, this is way possible. And then it was just like 7 to 8, and then 8, couple 8s, and then it was 9, and then fucking 12, and then back down to 9, and then at 13, and it was just like, it would be just, you know, little waves. Payments would come through at different months, so I don't really know. But
I mean, you can live a pretty sweet lifestyle when you're having that kind of income coming in. As much as you're working still, you get to do some fun stuff.
Fuck yeah.
And you get to live a great lifestyle.
Every day. And I just, today, like waking up, go shoot with Jocelyn for a couple hours, scram back to Hurricane. My friend needed a graduation session done, so we went up to Virgin, where I was camping the other night, and took some pictures, got back down.
You got some inspiration in Virgin, took them right back there to go shoot?
Yep. And then now I'm here having a great time at doing the podcast. Like, every day for me is fucking amazing. Even in the high stress of times, I'm like, it's all worth it. And like, grand scheme of things, it's like, how many times have I put myself in a stressful situation and it's not that big of a deal? you know, and it just like,
absolutely.
I just have those little mental, you got to have, you know, control over your mind during the day. Cause if you start acting with your emotions, shit's going to just start fucking boiling down and boiling over, I should say. So having control over that, those high times to where you're running at a high level, you got to know that you're going to push through and you're going to do great. And you're only stressed out because you need to perform, and you need to perform at a very high level and execute your task perfectly. Absolutely. If you can. So that's the way I think about it, instead of like curling up in a ball and, you know.
Yeah, failing. Some people don't even have that in them to curl up in a ball. It's like, it's impressive to see what you've done and how intentional you are about the lifestyle that you want to live and what you're trying to create and the people that you want to work with. And you weeded all those people out that maybe weren't, all those people that dropped off when you bumped it from $50 to $100 an hour, probably weren't your ideal clients either.
Nope.
So when you take it to $100 an hour, you sent out a message not that long ago too that had something to do with that on your story. Like the difference between a $50 client.
Oh, I did.
And a $50,000 client, where they want all the detail and they want to make sure it's just right and they're getting all the value out of their $50 compared to a $50,000 client.
Trevor just told me that this morning. I ran into them at the gym. He's like, bro, charging fucking $750 for bookkeeping. They don't give a shit. And these people trying to, absolutely, you know, and it's true. It's true.
In any aspect of life, but you get to control it. So by bumping that to $100 an hour, I mean, that is big time. And that's not going to be your last bump either. So with each one of those bumps, you get a different level of client, and you get to pick and choose who you work with also, because your time is limited. You have limited bandwidth. There's only so much that you can do. And I also want to talk about this because the next step for you is not you doing everything. I think the next step for you is teaching other people how to do it, creating a team, creating a system, and being able to help somebody on a much bigger scale because of the knowledge that you've gained from all this experience figuring all this stuff out yourself.
Yep. I was just talking about this with Ashley, the girl I was shooting with earlier, and talking about our conversation the other day of what I'm here now. I figured it out how to do this at 22. So it's like, what's next? And what, like we talked about, it's trying to scale, but I know what I have to do, and it's just going to take some time. I got to start educating myself a little bit more, just so I can start proving my results are that executable. Like if you hire me, you are going to get results, and I don't really like getting hired unless I'm giving someone an ROI. Like if they're not getting a return, I'm kind of angry about it, because I like being an asset to somebody, and that to me is where you're going to get reoccurring. You're going to get, man, look at all this value Mitch is bringing. We spend this on Mitch, and look what we get back. Mm-hmm. And so learning on the film side of things what I need to do is going to be a huge thing. Also possibly implementing some marketing as well. Either find someone who knows how to do it and hire them under me to say, not only will I make these amazing videos and structure them like this, I'm going to have my guy Jimmy over here taking these ads, and you're going to give me X amount of money, and I'm going to place these ads, these perfect executed ads, right? And we're going to test all these different ads. And then once we do that, we're going to find what's working, where we need to invest more time, all this kind of stuff. Then do another refresh on content in X amount of months or whatever. You know, you change your product or this or that. So
I think you're closer than you think you are.
I think I am too. I just gotta fucking do it. I'm being a little stagnant right now, and it's pissing me off. But yeah. I've been feeling that for.
That's a good feeling to have.
Yeah,
because at least you're aware enough.
Oh yeah, I'm conscious of it.
To realize it.
Yeah, and I'm still, doing good months, but it's like I'm constantly wondering like what's next, and it's like how many people would be so chilling with where I'm at right now. A lot of them, but I didn't get here this fast by having that mindset. It's always what's next.
What's next?
It's not that I'm not grateful, because I'm fucking grateful that I live a beautiful life, but I have enough faith and believe in myself enough that it's just going to keep getting better. and better with taking my money, putting it into real estate, which I also forgot to mention. When I was 18, I'd saved enough money. I think I was about 30 G's. I had saved up and then bought 5 acres up in New Harmony, and that was my first real estate investment. And now,
dude, that builds confidence. So
yeah, oh yeah. And my grandpa told me, like, I didn't know about real estate investing. My grandpa said, Mitch, because I told him I want a house, and he said, if you buy this lot, you're not going to regret it. And he's never wrong. So got my dad, thankfully, to co-sign for me. I put 18 grand down, and it was 52,000. And now one just sold the other day for 165.
Right next door.
Yeah.
So you could make a pretty good return on that.
Yeah.
Are you still going to build a house right there though?
I'm thinking long term. I want to end up there, but not sure. And it's not killing me if I don't do anything right now. Like, I just got so many options. I bought another one up in Bryan Head too. Another
piece of property?
Yeah, half acre. That was like a year after. So
no way.
Yeah, I was gonna just put, it was 10 grand. It's 13. I offered 7.5 and they countered at 10. So I just was like, oh, I'll throw it down. And I told my dad about it. He's like, well, we'll split it with you, me and my brother. And so I was like, yeah, sure, give me the money. You know, it'll be all of ours anyways. So
wow,
I could have did it by my own or by myself, but I was just like, yeah, it'll be all of ours anyways, you know, family cabin or whatever. Maybe my dad will fork up some dough and build one here soon. But
is it on a road? Like, it's already got a road to it?
Yeah, it's during the wintertime. Only the residents will plow. So it still does get plowed if residents plow it, but it's not like
it's not a community that gets plowed by the HOA or something. That's still impressive, dude. At 22 years old, owns 2 pieces of property, making over 6 figures, and doing what you love. So, and I'll bet you that very similar to these other circumstances that kind of forced you into learning something, here in the not very too far off future, you're going to have a client that comes to you with one of these propositions and they need something that's very similar to what you just explained.
I already have them.
And you're going to have to go figure that shit out.
I already have them, and I tell them, I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out myself, which probably isn't the best method. Like, I shot for a guy in Arizona. He's got an RV community, and he wants to start. He asked me if I could run ads.
Yeah.
Because I was telling him, like, this is, I told them the right stuff. Like, I'm like,
just pull the trigger on it.
Like, I'm going to make,
do it.
Yeah, I'm like, I can make you these 15-second swipe up videos, 30-second videos. We're going to just place them on Facebook because that's for your demographic. There's no 65 and up user on Instagram that's really going to be noted. So, like, let's use Facebook only. I'm just, like, giving him all these things. And he's like, oh, can you do it? And I'm like,
blowing his mind.
Because I'm used to Brody, the guy at Fitness Culture, like, he's like, Mitch, this is what we need to do and why, but I don't know how to place them. So I know how to execute an ad, but I can't place it and put it in the right thing and test it and figure out how to. It wouldn't
take you very long to figure it out.
I know, but
you just got to pull the trigger, dude.
Figure it out. Mitch. But nothing, Mitch.
But nothing. You got this.
Yeah.
So it hadn't been a very long journey for you. I mean, at 22 years old, you've still got so much life to experience. But what would you say is, what's the biggest mistake that you've made in the past 2 years since you started this photography, videography journey?
Let's see.
Because it seems like everything goes pretty well for you. You got some great karma.
Yeah, I know. That is strange. Biggest mistake? I mean, I wouldn't call them biggest mistake. Like, there was no, it maybe just like not holding ground on a deal. Because I remember starting out, it'd be like a real estate agent would contact me, hey, how much is this going to be? Well, it's going to be $500, sir. I don't got the budget for that. Can you do $350? And I just break down and say, yeah, I'll do it for $350. That's my biggest mistake is not. But then again, if you're hungry for work and you're like, fuck, man, don't let this be the only slippery, like, because slippery slopes happen. You know, you start breaking down. If I said, so-and-so, I'm going to give you a discount. Then they talk to so-and-so, and so-and-so knows that you gave them a discount, and they're going to want a discount. And then it's just this trickle effect. And I see a lot of people trying to do trade work or this work or whatever. And if you put yourself on a pedestal and say, this guy does not move, like, it means you mean business. And now
you got to go out and produce so you can do that.
I got a good one. I got a good mess up was contracts.
Yeah.
Contracts. And not having deposits paid. If you got reoccurring clients like we do and we have a relationship already, you don't need necessarily contracts if you don't want them and you have a great understanding.
And you work with somebody you trust.
Yeah, and you work with someone you trust, or having deposits, you guys can come to your own agreement. But for unknown clients, you don't know where they're at, you've never gained trust from them, you know, you just don't know. You have to protect yourself. And that Absolutely. I've had to make quite a few of those mistakes of not charging a deposit, being left high and dry, and just kind of like I've gotten done dirt on a couple deals. But that I would say is my biggest mistake so far. It's not protecting myself when I need to be protected, and especially things we talked about the other day, getting general liability insurance, all this kind of stuff. Like I need to have.
You got to be able to go through it though to learn it.
Yep.
Sometimes.
Yep. But I shouldn't learn the hard way and reinvent the wheel. Mm-hmm. Instead, I can just come to Jefferson and learn all the fucking things I need to.
Just ask the questions or tune into the Jefferson Rogers podcast, because I'm sure the people that are following you, you know, a large majority of them, like I follow you and I love your content and I love your messages that you put out, and you've got a great message and a great personality, and it resonates with people. But also there's people that follow you that want to do what you do. And I know a couple of them. And they're scared and they're nervous and they're not as personable as you. And they're like, man, I want to be like Mitch, but I don't know if I have what it takes. The thing is all it takes is having something in mind that you want to accomplish and then take an action. You don't have to make it difficult. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. If it did, I wouldn't have accomplished much ever, because I'm not a planner. My plans aren't sophisticated when I do plan. For me, it's like I have an idea and I execute, and I figure that shit out as I go. Yep. And it sounds like you've done very similar.
I told Ashley today, I said one of my favorite things about Jefferson is he just starts fucking sprinting on a bridge and throwing the pieces of wood underneath him as he's fucking going. And that's why he has grown his fucking business from 2 mil to 10 mil in 1 year. That's why, is because you take the leap and you fucking pave the path in front of you, or you dig your own path in front of you. And I just
keep it simple.
It's not hard. It's taking action. You learn if you fuck up, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, it's really it. Conclusion of the day is life is so easy, but why does everyone make it so hard?
It's just thinking about things too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all have a tendency to, if we let ourselves overanalyze, and it paralyzes the activity by analyzing the things, and it's never going to work out the way that you have it planned out in your head. You can get a pretty clear picture of what needs to happen and just take action, and the rest of it will put itself together as you go, which you've been able to see manifest itself.
Yep.
Just being positive and showing up every day and putting in work, and shit just happens, and opportunities just fall in your lap. But they're not going to happen unless you're taking action.
Yeah, if you're not taking
massive action.
Yeah, and taking action with manifesting and being positive. Like, if you're not just this walking, talking, positive motherfucker, you're just like, just stuff ain't gonna happen for you. And that's, I wake up with a positive mindset, and if it's not, I put myself in check and be like, dude, stop being an ungrateful bitch, you know, or whatever it is that I'm like feeling. Feel your emotions. You might be down, whatever, but you gotta, and honestly, posting on social media and seeing people's reactions to stuff, and when they message me with a heartfelt message like, dude, this really connected with me or whatever, that's what makes me want to keep doing it. And it's not me just doing it to do it. It's like, God, I'm feeling this way and I want to share something right now. I want to share it and see, you know, like I just have these impulsive decisions. Like I'm overwhelming gratitude moments, and I'll just like talk about it. And whatever, you know, like I just want to share that kind of stuff and share a different perspective, because people's minds are so not right. Like they're constantly consuming negative content, like we talked about, the news, social media. Dude, if you see something on someone's story that is negative, mute them or block them or unfollow them. That's what I do. If I see something that doesn't, absolutely. And it's just, you have to be protective of your mind. I don't watch the news. If I get hit by an ad about COVID or whatever, that's COVID, it's negative to me. It's out. I don't want to talk about it. And it's not me being like scared of it or anything. It's just like, I want to be oblivious to it because I'm in my world right here and shit's going fucking good. And the second you try to penetrate that thing with anything negative, you're out.
You can feel it. It has a high energy.
Yeah, it does. So everything's got currents. That's why we are all, you know, on a great wavelength right now. Is my currents and your currents and her currents, like we're all on the same wavelength, you know, and I believe that is 100% true. If there wasn't such thing as currents, why, when that bad seed walks in the room, why do you have that gut feeling that's like something's fucking wrong with that guy? Why is he not like clicking? You know what I mean? You have intuition, your gut feeling,
the energy.
Absolutely. Your gut will never lead you wrong. My dad has engraved that in my head, and that's why I don't go down those roads of bad decisions, because if I know it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Don't do it. If you have a bad business, if you have a bad business inquiry, don't do it. Simple as that, you know, but people for some reason convince themselves out of it and then make the bad decision.
Dude, that's such a powerful thing, because you have to develop that. Like over time, once you've got to experience your gut feeling and you go against it and it turned out exactly how you knew it would turn out and you went against your intuition, you're like, I don't know when I'm going to start listening to myself. Eventually you start being able to be in tuned and you're calm enough in those intense moments to be able to recognize what's going on. Because when you start getting into negotiations and business deals and having to make quick decisions, you know, in any kind of circumstance, sometimes you're going off of emotion instead of taking a step back and thinking about it, taking a deep breath and listening to that intuition. Because if you listen to it, it will never steer you wrong.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
This has been good, man.
Hell yeah.
It's been good.
Man. Hell yes.
So I think message of the day is you got to take action.
Yep.
You got to take action. If you don't, nothing can ever happen. Nothing is ever going to be handed to you. For most of us, like we both came from not very much. I know I did. It wasn't very long ago that I was literally the fucking guy on the couch. I never paid rent. I never paid for beer or weed. But I smoked and drank as much as everybody did. And I bummed and I smoked cigarettes and I was a fucking bum. But I knew the whole time that wasn't me, and I didn't want to turn this into the rest of my life. And I watched other people do it, and I have family members and friends, and this group of people I was hanging around with had a lot of those people. I didn't want that to turn out to be me. So I made the decision to get rid of all those negative influences and the chemicals and everything in my life and focus all that addictive energy that I have towards taking action towards doing something with my life. And there's a ton of people listening to this because there's a lot of addiction going on in this world. And if you can take that and refocus it towards positivity and trying to do something with your life and make an impact, we are making impacts everywhere we go now because of the choices that we've made, the habits that we have, and the influence that creates, because we're not very common. And when you stand out, people notice. So everywhere we go, with the smile, with the positivity, with the confidence, people are noticing. And you got to choose to be that. And it starts with keeping promises to yourself by taking action and constantly showing up.
Consistent, persistent pursuit.
Every single day, whether anybody's watching or not, you do what you say you're going to do, and you do it better than you thought you were going to be able to do it or anybody else thought you were going to be able to do it, and that builds confidence, and you start to create momentum, and you just consistently show up every single day, and days turn into weeks, turn into months, turn into years.
The best thing, you know it, when you start taking action, little things, and you can look back in a month and be like, fuck, man, look how amazing that look at this leap where I was a month ago, dude. And then you look at a 6-month gap and you're like, shit, man, I've really been fucking going.
It happens fast.
And then a year, my God. And I haven't had enough longevity to be like, I mean, it's hard to say from when you're a kid to where I am now. So like a 5-year gap.
That wasn't very long ago.
Yeah, I'm like 17 years old, still in high school. So it's not easy for me to say like,
yeah,
oh, look at where I've
come
grown
a
from.
long way since you were 17.
I'm excited as fuck for 25. I wrote myself a check for $500,000 for my net worth. Is going to be my net worth at 25, at least. At this rate, I'm really excited because I think I sold myself short. I wrote that.
So that's 3 years from now.
Yep.
And a good friend of mine, Dave Allred, says we overestimate what we can do in 1 year typically, but we underestimate what we can do in 3 to 5 years.
That's true. Yeah.
So realistically, $500,000 at this rate with this kind of activity, and as good a karma and as good as you are at manifesting things into your life and taking action and figuring shit out, you could very well be sitting at $1 million net worth with a couple other pieces of real estate and a whole team working underneath you. And with your courses put together, I mean, this can all happen relatively quickly when you just start taking action on it. And there's a lot of people out there, and I know some of them, that want to get into videography, want to get into photography, and they're just scratching the surface. And maybe they're working for somebody else, but they're watching Mitch take this road less traveled, and it's scary, but you got to step out there and you got to consistently put out content and keep putting in work and showing up every single day. It's not going to happen overnight. That's one thing that we struggle with in 2021 is that instant gratification. And the one thing that separates the successful from the average and ordinary is their ability to put off that instant gratification and get used to the delayed gratification and knowing that the work that they're putting in is going to pay off. The consistency is going to pay off eventually.
Yep.
And sometimes it happens a lot faster than others because for you it's happened fast.
Yeah. But I still tried to spend like I was working at Black Bear and save the rest because I knew that long-term gratification is going to be where I'm really happy. Because I mean, I could still make 6 figures, but if I spent 80 of it, where's that leave me the rest of the year, you know? So I'm really, really, really big into saving to where, because I know, I mean, I'm going to try to maximize what I can make as an individual. What is the most amount of money that I can make? And then from there, now let's talk investing, right? And then we're throwing X amount here, doing this
Create
deal,
some real
whatever.
wealth.
Yeah, real long-term wealth, huge net worths. You know, you got, I mean, that's my goal. And it's.
So I got a question for you real quick. So there's not a lot of people like me, but there is 1 or 2 people listening right now that are going to take action tomorrow. Like tonight, they're putting together their game plan. They're taking notes. What can somebody do tomorrow to just start? Like they're watching Mitch and they've seen what you've done in a short period of time. They want to do something similar and write their own story. What do they start doing tomorrow that's going to make the difference for 1 year from now being able to make 6 figures doing what they love doing, photography and videography?
If you got a camera already, get a camera. That's tomorrow. But once you get your camera, say you have it already, start posting and practicing. Set your account up like mine. 2 pictures in a video. If you want to fucking cheat and steal my...
Emulate what you're doing.
Do it, because it fucking works. 2 pictures in a video. You are not allowed to post a picture until you get a video done. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be 30 seconds, 15 seconds, a reel, a 10-minute documentary, whatever it is. Take the time, learn it, and preferably would go make videos for a potential client you seek yourself working with in the future.
You did some of those for free.
Yeah.
So you could get your foot
in
the door.
You need proofing. Hey, Mitch, can you show me one of your videos that I could see that's a 60-second video? Yeah, let me show you this $5 million house I shot the other day. Holy shit, he's really good. It's like, it's really that simple. And it's a simple, find if you ask any agent, can I just use your house as a free, it's for sale, can I give you a free video? They're going to say yes.
Absolutely.
Like, they're not going to be like, no.
I'll give you all the content.
I'll give you all the content for free.
I want to create one for you.
Yep. It's that easy.
So you can start your resume,
and
start your portfolio.
I really want to. I had a message. This guy, as I was camping, messaged me. He's like, I want to learn about real estate because it seems that my real estate speaks a lot louder than a lot of my other content. I don't know. It just, when I post it, it's just because it's a nice house. Like if I was posting dog shit houses all the time, maybe
probably wouldn't
not
get that much attention.
Exactly. But I'm posting these really nice houses because I've made really nice connections with people who have or are affiliated with these really nice houses, and that's just kind of how it fell. But all my other work is fine as well. But real estate, I think, is one that I would like to do either a mini course on or do that for my first course.
Absolutely. Get going on that
because
I'll hook you up with Bradley.
Okay. Yeah. No, because
Lightspeed is the way to go.
It's super necessary, and because it's learning the concepts like at the best, and like you can literally make so much fucking money if you can scale a real estate videographer team or just do it by yourself. You can make a great income, and it's very easy. You can learn how to use your camera, and then from there, now you can start doing video jobs and learning, other kinds of fitness shit or whatever it is that you desire. But
so whatever it is, you just got to take action. Just start doing.
Take action.
2 pictures and a video.
Yep.
Every single day.
Yep.
And go out there and produce enough content and take enough pictures, enough videos that you can have enough to edit and post every single day. And in the beginning, nothing's going to happen. You got to keep doing it. 6 months you did that without one thing happening.
Yep.
Except for you're gaining a little bit of notoriety and credibility, and you're getting better at your craft, right? I imagine you weren't the same as when you started 6 months later.
God, no. Yeah, way different. And once you get to where you're getting your first couple clients, substitute their videos on your account for your videos.
Yeah.
They need proofing. Damn, he just did one for JeffersonKRogers. Damn, he just did one for Steve Cook. Damn, he just did one for whatever real estate group. Post those videos on your account because you're sharing it. Your people are going to see my stuff. Everybody, it's just this crazy thing to where anybody thinks I need a video or photos. I'm going to Mitch. And the $100 an hour thing, it scares a lot of people away until they realize how fast I can work.
Yeah.
Because a normal videographer is going to take fucking 8 hours and I'm going to take 3. Just flat out. I'm the quickest in town. I could put money on it. I'm fucking fastest in the West right here. Right here,
I've
dude.
seen you
I'm
work,
fired
dude.
up.
As soon as you put the camera down, you're on the computer.
Like when we were in
together.
Vegas, I finished that fucking video the same day, right?
Yep.
Or something like that. But it's I will put money on that. But that's where that gets all twisted. Like
but
Trevor even today,
you got to get a lot of practice.
About your fucking pricing, bro. You're fucking expensive. I said it's your fault. He was one of the people pushing me to because Steve told me one time, you're fucking expensive. And Trevor goes, fuck one opinion, dude. If you're getting 9 yeses and 1 no, you're on the right track. Yeah. So, but that's the thing but now I've kind of switched over to more set pricing. I'll have an estimate in my head. Okay, this is going to take probably more hours than he thinks because of, they're like, oh, it'll take 30 minutes. I'm like, no, it's probably going to be an hour and a half because so-and-so can't talk, all these little, you gotta account for errors in your thing. And so now I'll kind of do a set price and then kind of go from there. And, it's been doing good for me to do that and charging deposits and doing contracts.
Absolutely. So have you written your own contracts or do you have somebody help you with those?
This software I just got on HoneyBooks. It's kind of got a general agreement contract, and then I've made a couple little revisions in there just stating you're purchasing the rights for yourself and your own marketing. No one else can't be distributed. you know, all that kind of stuff. Just things that people should know. It's all laid out, and it's just clear on dates when things need to be paid, deposits, all that kind of stuff. So
that's smart,
just
smart business.
Yep.
Yeah, we have to do the same thing in our business with our employees, with our subcontractors.
You're running at such a high level, dude. Fucking totally different, guys. Jefferson's the shit. I want you to know that.
Just barely scratching the surface, man.
And he's just getting fucking started too.
Yep. Just barely getting started.
Just getting started.
So tell us where we can find you. These guys don't have to worry about that because they're already with us live on Man in the Van.
Yep. But
how do you spell that though?
MAN.
Man.
Underscore. NDINDIE. Van.
Man, Indy.
Van, yep.
Van.
I thought about changing it up, but I'm like, God, man, that's just like, no one's going to know who I am anymore. If it's not Man in the Van, everyone gives me shit because I don't live in the van anymore. And they're like, Man in the car and all that shit. But
you're still Man in the Van.
I'm still
So
Man
everybody
in the
go
van.
follow Mitch at man_INDIEVAN. Man in the Van.
Sir.
He produces some great content. He's been helping me out now for the last couple of months.
It's been the best 4 months.
It's been incredible,
it's been
dude.
5 months, dude. What the hell?
We've been putting together some awesome content. We got some other big events and trips and content planned for the future. And I'm excited, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited.
I've never had so much fun with a group of guys and team, girls and guys, until I came on to fucking JKR. Like, coming from where I've seen environments to coming into JKR, I'm like, is this real? This is the positive snow globe I've been talking about. I can put my snow globe with a bunch of other people's positive snow globes inside a big ass positive snow globe. Yeah. And that's where our world is here at JKR.
We don't just talk about it, we do it.
Yeah.
We live it.
Yep.
We embrace it. We've got a culture that we've only been doing it for a year.
Yep.
And we've got it pretty dialed in, and we just keep getting better. Mm-hmm. And it's exciting to see where you can go in such a short period of time.
It is.
Well, it was fun, man.
Thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Absolutely. That was a blast.
Hell yeah.
And we'll be doing another one a year from now.
Yep.
And it's going to be exciting to look back.
Give me a good kick in the ass today.
Yeah, dude. It may be me that you have to start putting this team together for.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got some big plans.
Yep.
And we're going to need a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. And I would prefer to use you than anybody else.
It needs some clout. We're going to build that clout up, baby.
Let's roll.